Well, what's up again there, guys? Brian here at 3TR, and I have another awesome movie review to share with you guys today. This time I'll be giving you my initial thoughts on the newly released and action-packed POV style film titled Hardcore Henry. Now, outside of the only one character that I care to remember his name or try to pronounce his name, Mr. Sholto Copley, this movie pretty much is a POV style live action video game, to be honest. Now, the plot to this movie is fairly basic. The film follows a character who goes simply by the name of Henry, who has somehow been in some type of incident which has required him to have his entire body pretty much be equipped with cybernetics. He wakes up and his wife is standing right next to him as he's finally being put together when all of a sudden this organization pops in, takes his wife, tries to kill him, and really from the next hour and a half, it's a constant chain of Henry trying to figure out exactly what's going on, where to go, who do I have to kill, who do I have to do, who do I have to blow up, who do I have to massacre in order to get my wife back, and that's really all you need to know. Now, I'm going to be honest with you guys, if you're going into this film expecting much plot, you're looking at the wrong place, because if there's one thing that you have to give this movie credit for, and that is being completely self-aware of what it's trying to do. It never tries to be anything sophisticated, it never tries to be anything too flashy. It is just an all-out, fun, shoot-'em-up movie, and every once in a while, people like me can enjoy such things. Now, if there's one aspect of this movie that is absolutely needs to be commended for, and that, in terms of its technical elements, is how they were actually able to pull off how this movie was actually filmed. From the entire about 1.5 hour runtime, it is told entirely from a first person point of view, and I believe this was actually filmed on a GoPro camera, which it makes it even more amazing because a lot of shots in this movie are actually quite sharp and you can see everything pretty well. So in terms of a technical aspect, I give it serious props for that. And it also has amazing stunt work. Now, as far as I know, there probably wasn't much CGI used because I'm sure the budget to this wasn't all that high. And so the stunt work was absolutely, truly incredible. And even in this world where everything's kind of crazy, it was for the most part believable. Now, the one aspect of this plot that I would say has the most interest is the introduction of the character of Sholto Copley, who plays as a character named Jimmy. Now, the interesting thing about Jimmy here is that he kind of shows in and out of the film throughout, and he has different variations. And at first, you're not really sure, like, if this is the same guy, why does this guy keep popping up, what's his purpose? And I won't spoil it here because I would say it's probably the only twist throughout the entire film that I thought was actually quite interesting and actually gives the film a little bit of interest in terms of, like, you know, as far as an action movie can get. But he's pretty much there to tell Henry, this is what you gotta do next, this is where you gotta go, this is who we gotta kill, this is the objective. He's pretty much there to just guide Henry around. Now, if there's any parts of this movie that I can say I didn't like all that much, is that the villain was very, very underwhelming. Now, I understand that for a dumb film like this, you don't really need to add much character development in many of the characters, but the main antagonist, I don't even care to remember his name, somehow his gimmick is he can use the Force. That's the only explanation I got, because he's able to pick people up and throw them, and that's about it. And look, I understand it's a dumb film, but if you're gonna break the rules of physics, you gotta at least give me explanation. Tell me how this guy can do what he does, and the movie never does it, or at least from what I was trying to pay attention as best I can. The movie never explains. And another part that I really didn't like was probably the last 20 minutes. Now, I understand that this movie initially is supposed to be one big POV video game, but the final fight scene, which, trust me, it is magnificently filmed, it really does feel like a flat-out video game. I mean, at least all the action scenes prior to this were a lot more subtle, but this one just kind of goes all out, and I found it a little bit distracting, and it got so crazy to the point where it really did get hard to see, as opposed to all the other previous action scenes where, even though there was a lot of stuff going around, you could actually still see what was going on, and there were a lot of quick cuts that made it really kind of, I'll say, make me a little bit queasy because it was just doing all this, and I really hate it when a movie does it, because that's like an experience I had with watching Cloverfield. That's why I had a hard time watching that the first time in theaters. But overall, This is just a flat out fun time. If you're not looking for anything too sophisticated or anything that has too much to it or too complicated, this is like the kind of movie that you get a couple friends together, you grab a couple beers, you watch it, and you have a fun time. And if that's what you're looking for, you're absolutely going to get it here. If I had to give this movie a rating, I'm going to give Hardcore Henry a B-. I understand that you're somewhat limited with the type of movie that this is trying to be, but they could have added a little bit more effort, maybe made the story a little bit more interesting, and perhaps make the twist not too obvious. This is certainly not a type of movie that I want to see become a trend. This is like a one-time thing, and I think that as long as it stays that way, I think that we're good here as moviegoers. If you like my movie review, feel free to like, comment down below, and please subscribe to check for my future movie reviews. And like always, thank you guys for watching. You're awesome, and I will see you next time.